we're gonna be doing a 3x3x9 Rubik's Cube with our own hands. I will be doing it with this one. You may think it's a 3x3, but actually it's not. It's a 3x3x7 Rubik's Cube. Here we have 7 layers and each one of them turns. What is the point? Each layer of the 3x3 cube has 3 more little layers, except the middle layer. We need to change this layer with 3 more little layers. For that I'm gonna take this cube, which is called the roadblock puzzle, and it has the middle layer that we need. So we are gonna put it on our other cube. While I'm doing this, I want to tell you that the 3x3x9 Rubik's Cube actually exists. I can even show it to you. You can see it here on the box. The 3x3x7 was in the box, but the 3x3x9 is pictured here, and we're gonna make exactly the same today. I'm sure it's gonna be much harder to solve it. Look, here we have a regular edge, but it has additional elements which go on special tracks. As you see, I tried to disassemble the roadblock cube to take out the middle layer, but everything fell apart because the construction is too complicated, because the cube is very unusual and complicated itself. Here's the first layer. It's better not to touch it. Let's keep it carefully here on the side. So all I need to do now is to take out this layer and put them here to make a cube. Okay, let's do this carefully. So let's put the first layer here. Let me try to do this carefully. Oh, it's not that easy. One wrong step and everything falls apart. By the way, look what the elements look like from the inside. This is what it looks like. One edge is done in 3 layers. Very cool, very interesting. It's starting to look like the 3x3x9. I need to fix it with the bolt. Okay, so we already have the 3x3x6 Rubik's Cube. This is what it looks like. Looks kinda cool. It's a very unusual puzzle. It is the first time I see layers this thin. I've never solved puzzles like this. So let's get another layer done and let's try to do it more careful this time. By the way, if you actually like this cube, like this video and write something positive in the comments. I really enjoy reading them and like the best ones, so do it more often. So we are finishing. I'm using the last bolt, and would you look at that monster? Look how many layers! And the last part, we are putting the centers on their places, and here we have a 3x3x9 Rubik's Cube. Look how cool it looks. On this side it's a regular 3x3 Rubik's Cube, but if you look on the other side, wow, cool. So let's try to scramble this Rubik's Cube. It actually turns really well, really cool. And when scrambled it looks just insane. I'm actually not sure if I'm gonna solve it. Again, it is the first time I have this thing in my hands. I've never even seen it in person, only on the pictures, and I always wondered what it feels like to solve a cube like this. Now, when the cube is fully scrambled, look what we have here. The thin layers are scattered everywhere. Here we have the full elements and we need to solve it somehow. I actually have some thoughts on how to do that, but it still feels like that is impossible. I really hope I will manage to do that, because your likes and support always help me. Let me take my phone and start up a timer. Okay. The first thing we need to do, I think, is to solve the full elements, so they don't get in our way of solving the thin elements. Actually, it wasn't hard at all, and now we only have to turn these 2 centers. I'm using regular Rubik's Cube solving algorithms. It's not hard, but I'm not solving it yet. I'm just preparing it for a comfortable solving. Here is what I was talking about. We had to solve the full sides so we could turn each one of these layers. This took us 1 minute. Next, I think I'm gonna try to solve it like the big cubes are solved, starting with centers. I think I got this. We solved the middle layer. It was pretty easy, but this took us 4.5 minutes. For an experienced speedcuber, it won't be difficult at all. But next we have to solve each one of these thin layers going from the center. I think this is gonna be pretty hard. I don't know how, but it took me only 10 minutes to solve these two layers. It was pretty easy as well. It's good that I can solve a 3x3 cube, so I even got to this stage, but the next step isn't gonna be that easy. I'm using the 3x3 algorithms, but as you can see, these algorithms engage the whole edge. If you take a regular Rubik's Cube and use any 3x3 algorithm, it moves this whole element. But here these elements move in blocks, and now I have to come up with a solution to the whole cube. So I almost solved it, I have a few elements left and I need to find a way to do that without destroying everything else. I don't have any ideas yet. And how to do that? God, this is hard. Almost everything is solved except these two elements. It's a parity and I know why this happened. It's because one of these elements isn't on its place. This one should be here on the bottom, not on top, so we need to change them. But how to do that? That is the question. No way I messed up. It can't be happening. Are you serious? On the last part? Let me try again. The half is solved already, so I'm not very upset, but it's still pretty frustrating. You know, I've solved a ton of puzzles in my life, but this thing is really interesting to solve. It's finally a new challenge for me. It doesn't look very difficult at first glance, but you should definitely try to solve it. That funny and unique situation where I have to use both the most difficult algorithms that I know, control every move I make, and to use the easiest method for the beginners. It's definitely a unique puzzle. Cool, really cool. And again, the same problem. Look, everything is solved except these two last elements.